Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sliced Mango. I hope you're doing well, having a great day. Today we are putting in the koalas. This is episode 5, I think it is, episode 5 of Project Down Under. Project Down Under is our sort of sub-mini series, if you will, for the DLC, the Australian DLC that came out a few weeks back. And basically building a little Australian zoo in the outback using all the animals from that pack and sort of a few building pieces as well from that pack as much as possible. So it's a completely Australian themed zoo, which is really, really cool. I've loved building it as well, actually. It's been sort of fairly different and it's been quite refreshing as well, actually, to build something completely different. So if you haven't been and checked out the other 4 episodes before this, definitely go check them out. The koalas is the last animal that we're putting in. And the next episode will be kind of like a zoo tour, I guess, of everything we've built so far. We'll walk around at the guest level and we'll do a big grand opening as well. We'll let all the guests sort of flood through the gates and see what they go to and what they look at. And I'm really excited for that. There's no better feeling than opening up your zoo for the first time and letting all the guests walk around it and stuff. Normally I just sort of have it open from the get-go and let the guests walk around straight away, and I'll put a little animal in and we sort of walk over to it and then be like, no, sod this, I'm out of here, there's only one animal here. But at this time we've actually built the entire zoo and then we're going to open it all up. So I'm very excited for next episode. There are a few little things I need to do, but I'll probably do them off camera because I don't really feel like there's an episode's worth of things to do. Just a few little things like a little bit of terraforming around the edge of the map and the rocks down the one side of the river. So there's a few little things, but I don't really think it warrants an actual full-on episode. So I'll do that off camera. The next episode in this series is going to be the zoo tour and grand opening, and I am very, very excited for that indeed. Just to get some guests in, I think it's going to be super cool. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the little bell next to it. That way you get to stay obviously notified of when I upload, but I'm sure you already knew that because everyone talks about that on YouTube. And if you do like the video as well, feel free to drop a like and you can comment as well. I love hearing from you guys and hearing what you guys have to say, whether it be about the video, something that maybe I'm doing wrong. Feel free to let me know if I've messed up anywhere. Just sort of your opinions and stuff is quite cool and refreshing, I guess, just to chat to you guys and see some familiar faces from videos to videos. It's pretty cool. So you can see here we're starting on the koala house. The koala house is, well, I'll be honest, this whole project came out a lot later. It was meant to come out several days ago, but I was struggling so much with this habitat. I've really struggled to to build it. This is like the 4th or 5th attempt now, and it's been driving me insane. I've been working on this every night when I come back from work, trying to figure out how I want this habitat to look. 'Cause I've struggled so much. I've had such a clear vision on this habitat from the start, starting this project Down Under, and it's just not well, doing the habitat like it just didn't turn out how I wanted it to look. So this is probably the fifth time of doing this, so that's why it's taken so long to get this video out. So I do apologize, but it's a cool habitat nonetheless. It's like a big walkthrough habitat. We put some guest facilities right by the koala house actually, and the koala house itself turns out pretty nice. We did a nice little bit of like detailing on the sides. Oh, talk of it, here we go, putting in these nice planks along the edge of the walls here. Now sadly they're climbable. I didn't realize this until the koalas actually got in and started to climb all over the building and jump down onto the paths and stuff. So I had to tweak it a little bit, but for the most part it all kind of stays on there, which I'm quite thankful for because it didn't really take too much of my time up trying to rectify the problem of them escaping. So overall this is pretty good and I'm quite pleased with how this has turned out, to be honest. A lot better than I was expecting. And, it looked kind of good, kind of like sleek and modern. As talking of sleek and modern, actually, you'll probably notice that this building is fairly different from the rest of the buildings in the zoo, and that's because there's a little bit of a backstory I want to happen to this sort of koala habitat. Basically, when the zoo has got a lot of funding recently, I wanted it to be able to spend that money and sort of flash it around. And I thought, what better animal to splash the cash on than the koala bear? The koala bear being probably the biggest and most sort of like recognizable animal, I guess. So this is why this habitat is a little bit more modern, maybe a little bit more different from the rest of the zoo. It's definitely a bit more of a tropical vibe going on for this habitat than the other habitats in the zoo. It just turns out overall very, very different from what we've got in the zoo so far, and I really like that. It was kind of quite sort of, I don't know, it's just kind of nice to do something different as opposed to sticking with these new pieces from the DLC pack. And as cool as it is to be using new DLC items and stuff, doing it throughout the entirety of the zoo has been good fun. But I just wanted to mix it up and do something different. I wanted to sort of flex those plaster building muscles. And that's what we've got here. It's got a building made out of plaster. It's quite a basic building, to be honest, but doing the detailing and stuff around the edge of it and putting the plants and stuff in has made it turn out pretty good, to be honest. Quite happy with it. So I'll put a little guest area in over to the left here. We can use like these recycled container pieces from Troves, I think his name is. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'll leave a link to all of that sort of stuff in the description below, so you can go grab all that stuff for yourself as well. So I think we're pretty much done with this side of the koala house. I think koala house is pretty much done. I'm just putting a few little flower beds in next to the walking entrance, just to, I don't know, just to make it look a little bit prettier, make it look a little bit nicer, make it feel like you're walking into something fairly sort of prestigious, sort of something fairly important. Doing a little bit of barrier work as well. The barrier, it took me ages to do because I was trying to put it in as brick so I could get it curved, and then going back over the top of it in these wooden logs. I think that's probably the best suited barrier for this Australia theme. Checking out what foliage they needed and putting a bit of that in, seeing what trees that I wanted to use. And you also notice here that we're going for an elevated path as well. I wanted this kind of like viewing nest, I guess you could say, to basically make the guests feel like they're up in the trees with the koalas. So when the koalas are climbing these trees, I wanted the guests to be up there and to be able to be like, oh, look at this koala, it's climbing the trees. Obviously, it probably sound a lot more excited than that, but I think it turned out pretty well. And it's very simple. I've not really done too much sort of editing to this bit or sort of detailing, I guess, to this part of the nest area. But I really do like the way it's turned out, and the simplicity of it, I think, is what makes it sort of fairly nice. The railings as well on the path have been an absolute lifesaver, and I do like the way that's all turned out, especially at the end when you see it with all the rocks and the little plants and whatever else I put around there. I'm really quite happy with it. Building a little keeper's door in and out, because I forgot that they can't use the big main doors for some reason. It seems a bit odd, but I'm sure it's like that in real life to some extent. And having a bit of trouble with the pathing, so I just decided to sort of make it a smooth ramped path that was sort of flat on the ground. So I had to do a little bit of terraforming and make that all sort of flat and make it fit and make it work. And this bit here, I wanted to have a little sort of facility here with some toilets, just because I think there's one set of toilets in the zoo, and although they were right in the middle of the zoo, I wanted something that was maybe a bit further away from the entrance on the other side of the zoo, just so the guests had the option to go somewhere a little bit further away if they needed to. I tried to match this with the koala house, but I just did not feel that vibe at all. So yeah, mixed it up, extended the building a little bit so I could put actually a sort of proper nicer roof on it, and added a little information desk with this little happy chap behind there serving people all day long. And obviously being near the koala habitat, I decided to put this beautiful little piece in that came pre-made with the DLC pack. So that saved me a bit of time, bit of creativity as well, which was nice. Putting in a bit of a different kind of roof that I've not really done before, just to try and make that roof look a little bit less boring, which I think it's done. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit of detailing on the building. I didn't really know what to put on this building, because on one side we got the koala habitat, and I didn't really feel the need to detail that side of the habitat up too much. So it's just this sort of side with the guest area, to be honest. Had a little bit of trouble with the pathing. I feel like I say this every episode. But yeah, it turned out okay in the end, and I'm quite pleased with how it's all turned out. There is a little thing that I do off camera. I think it's a little bit of terraforming around the outside of the map just to make it sort of blend in a little bit better, a little bit nicer to the rest of the zoo. Um, but yeah, it doesn't. You don't really miss too much, to be honest. This is the barrier. So if you don't know this trick, this is a cool little trick. What you do, you go and brick barrier in, and you've got the option in the bottom right to either have it straight, or you can sort of curve it a little bit. So I've flicked the little curve button and put it on, and you can basically put this barrier in that's curved and everything. And then if you highlight the whole barrier and then click on the wooden log barrier, or maybe another barrier that you want, the whole thing would then be curved. It just sort of copies it over. So it's quite nice. So those barriers that don't let you go curve, this is the way to sort of get those curved barriers in. And some zoos, they it does make a big difference, especially if your zoo's quite natural and flowy. Then it does make, I think, a fairly big difference to have sort of curved barriers and stuff. Put a few little windows in, one-way windows, because I wanted, when you're inside the habitat and you're the guest inside there, I wanted it to sort of, I don't want you to see the guests looking in. I don't want it to feel like you're the animal, you're the attraction that people have come to see. So made it a one-way glass so that when you're inside the habitat, walking around and stuff, you can't actually see the guests on the outside looking in, staring at you. This is going to be like a little guest area there on the other side by those toilets. This is Trove stuff, so I'll leave a link in the description to all of his work on the workshop. These are some really cool little container storages. I think like recycled containers that we can now turn into shops. But I think this used to be, or I think it's on the workshop for a koala habitat, funnily enough. There's a few little like feeding platforms in there, and little bedding and stuff. So you do need to do sort of a little bit of editing and deleting or whatever else, just to get these to work and get them to sort of fit into your zoos. But for the most part, absolutely perfect, and they are fantastic. They really, really, really fit with this Australian DLC. So Frontier, you've done another stellar job at getting these to look good. So I imagine this was probably pretty difficult, pretty tricky, shall we say. Extending this little not guest path, the staff path, just so it's hidden in the container, and the staff can walk through the container, through the door, into the habitat without sort of guests seeing it. Put a few tables in. I should probably put an ATM around here somewhere so guests can actually sort of get their money out. But putting in a few tables and stuff just to make it look a little bit nicer and give the guests somewhere to sort of sit and eat and whatever else they want to do. That is it from me. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music, and then we'll come back at the end and we'll do like a real-time walk around of the zoo, or of this habitat. We're going to save the zoo tour for next episode, so make sure you're subscribed for that. But yes, that's it from me and this speed build, and I shall see you in a couple of minutes to go do a little walk around of this habitat. So enjoy. So here we are admiring the kangaroos and the kangaroo habitat at the moment. Wow, that boy's gonna hit the little baby. Wow, that was a big kick. I bet he used his legs for that. That came out of nowhere. Fell out of the sky. um, right, this is where we're gonna start our real-time tour. So if we frames, if we turn around and walk out here, we can see the really cool box. I don't know, container park, container guest area. I don't know, but this is also home to a rainbow eucalyptus tree, and I love this. This is my new favorite tree in the game. It's going to be quite situational, I think, to put these in, because these are really big trees, as you can see. I think this is one of the smaller ones, but I mean the bark on it looks beautiful, doesn't it? I think as well when I think the tree like sheds almost is probably the best way of describing it, and when it sheds it goes red, and the longer it's been there, the longer it's been exposed to the air, it goes green, I think, or vice versa, which gives off this really cool sort of really cool colours to it, or like, well, rainbow effect, I guess. So yeah, really pleased with this, and the fact that they've even added that into the game. So this is called Rainbow Junction. A few different things going on here. So you've got the kangaroo on our left, but on the right we've got the koalas. I do need to add a few little bushes and stuff along here just to hide the clipping through the barrier. But let's take a look here. Obviously we got the container area thanks to troves. This is really cool, and I love this a lot. Obviously we've got chief beef, and I think this is slushies or some pip shop thing. But I think it's slushies. Glubfeline. I wish I knew what that meant. Hello. Yeah, a few little seating areas here as well. Let's go up the steps and have a look in the koala house. Also you've got the koala house here written down. Thanks to Ricey, and a fonts link to that will be in the description as well. So lots of climbing equipment in here for them. Not that they ever come in here. I don't think I've ever seen one of my koalas in here, because they're very happy to chill outside. But cool little habitat. Cool little building for them. I think it sort of blends in quite well, and I love these panels as well that we're able to put in. They look really cool and are pretty versatile. I'll probably use them in a few other things as well. Obviously we got the education boards around the park as well. We head back down the steps here. Through this door we have a little staff area. It's a really basic staff path actually that just cuts through that and goes round to the door into the koala habitat. We've got another box here. This is just for the keeper's hut. Save them walking everywhere. I think I might need to go make sure the other places have a keeper's hut there as well. So here we go. Go to the main doors into the walk around of the habitat. We've got this nice little pole that comes out, and I've seen them use this, but I've not seen them go into. Well, I know that they can go through here and go into the building, but they very rarely do it. We got a little feeding platform here. Not that they ever seem to use this. I've never seen a keeper put anything on here, which is a bit bizarre, but hey ho. And obviously we've got these eucalyptus trees as well that go up here, which I think look really cool. So in this habitat we have 4 koalas. We have 1 male and 3 females. One of the females is a mating couple, is a mating pair. So we got to keep our eyes peeled and see if we can see any, because they like to hide these koalas, especially up in the trees around here. Hopefully we'll see 1 or 2 in the trees. You've probably spotted them before I have anyways. But this is the sort of tree viewing platform. I think this is looking sort of really good. You get obviously a big sort of looking down on the whole habitat. Oh, there's one in the tree. You just see its bum going, and there's another one I think down. Yeah, there's one down there. There we go. 2 out of the 4. But yeah, you can sort of see all over the habitat. It's a bit bizarre. Normally I like to build them quite lush and quite sort of bushy and stuff, which this one is, I guess. But I don't know, I just feel like it's all a little bit disconnected in some way. But yeah, pleased with how they climb the trees and stuff. That looks really cool. Obviously down here we've got the other exit to the walk around area. We'll head down there in a bit. But if we come back around here, back down the path. Obviously, you can look off to the left. Not much going on over there. You just see off into the distance. Remind yourself that you're back in the desert. Back down here, we'll go for a little walk around. Oh, here we go. Being greeted by the other two. They're cool looking things, aren't they? I've not really looked at them up close. Oh, he's so smug with himself. They are funny little things, and to think they're actually like an actual bear as well is bizarre. Obviously, you've got their only food enrichment item. You've got 2 toy enrichment items, this one and this little thingamabob here, which I've not seen them play with at all. But yeah, cool little things. There's got one climbing the tree over there, coming down. Is this one still up here? Oh, there it is. It's good though, because they're not shy of humans, which is quite nice. Because I think it means they'll obviously their stress levels will remain the same even when the guests are really up close. But it's quite nice because they're quite active as well. Actually, koala bears. I thought they'd be a little bit more subdued, but no. We should probably do a bit of detailing on this wall. Maybe hide it a little bit. I don't know. I'm happy with it at the moment. This is the biggest eucalyptus tree. Not the biggest, but the second biggest, and the biggest in this habitat. All the others are the same sort of eucalyptus tree with the 2 prongs in it. This is pretty cool. Obviously, you got their feeders dotted around as well, which are really nice actually because they blend in with the other trees. I would just wish though this little bit was a separate item that you could clip onto poles and onto different trees and stuff. That'd be really handy. Obviously, we got the one-way glass and stuff in here, and the non-climbable barriers so they don't jump off the edge, over the edge. We've got this little thing. I've not seen them use it. I just thought this would be cool to be able to see the guests go under here and have the koalas climb along on top. I thought that'd be cool. Not seen them use it, sadly. On this side, bit of rocks, bit of climbing frames and stuff. This is a custom pillar, which I thought looks really, really cool. I thought I'd try that out. I've got some plans to do sort of elevated pathways in the future and a few different other projects, so I want to do some like custom supports for them. So I thought I'd try all that in here. We've got a few little climbing frames here for them, which don't look too bad. And obviously the koala house in all its glory there, looking pretty good. Here's one of the little koalas. They're funny little things, aren't they? They're big ears. They are very cute. Right, let's head up here. Just take a look down the other side. This is the other side, the other way into the habitat. There's only 2 ways in, so this way and the way we came into the habitat. Let's go back down here. There's a bit of seating down here. This is a bit of a chilled spot, a bit of a chilled area. We've got some toilets there, which is the security guards checking out. It does bother me that the building pieces are just not to scale for the guests. You can get a 2 meter or 4 meter high wall, but the actual people are about 1.7 meters, I'd say. So it's a bit annoying that everything's out of scale, but I guess that's just how it is in Plankto world. Information kiosk there, so guests can get their information on all the animals and their audio packs and stuff. Another bit of education. There's a lot of education actually for the koalas that I put around here. I put some rocks here just to hide the entrance to the cassowary habitat in this container, which also houses a keeper's hut. These windows are great. I don't know how much those will actually utilise, these windows, but I just thought it would be cool to break up the barrier a little bit around the edge and allow people to sort of see in the habitat and maybe catch a little glimpse at the koala, tease themselves before they actually get to the habitat. Can't see any in there at the moment. I hope they haven't escaped. Actually, they should be able to escape, to be fair. Oh, there's one. There we go. I think he's just got some food, has he? It's probably a she, I don't know. That is the koala habitat. We're now back around at Rainbow Junction. But yeah, I hopefully that has been a good build and you've got some sort of inspiration from it. I hope that you have. That's what I try to do. I try and inspire as much as possible with my builds. That's the only sort of goal I've got for showing you my Planet Zoo content. Let's go back in and try and get a koala to look at before we finish. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I really do appreciate that you've stuck around and watched the end. It's a bit of a long episode, but I hope you have enjoyed it and, like I say, found some inspiration. We'll jump on board with this little furry friend. Like I said at the beginning, if you have enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a like. If you wanted to share the video as well, I'd really appreciate that. But you can also subscribe and turn on the little notifications using the bell icon as well to stay up to date with all of the future content on the channel. And stick around for the next episode. It's going to be a good one because we're going to be opening the zoo and doing a tour of the zoo as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I hope you are as well. But that is it from me. Thank you ever so much for watching. And I shall see you all in a video very soon.